Audio check 1, 2. Welcome back everybody to the Motive Racing channel for tonight's action here in the Burville Sector Formula 1 League. We're back here for round 18 of this 24 round season, coming towards the very business end of the season now, and obviously after tonight only 6 races left before tonight, 7 races still to go, and currently in qualifying here for tonight. So currently Glenn leading the championship by a considerable way now, albeit Davidoff tried his best on Tuesday night, but things didn't really work out for Davidoff at Baku. We obviously saw he crashed out during the race at the castle section, so unfortunately Davidoff lost a few points to him, and it's almost looking like a foregone conclusion now as to when Glenn is going to take the championship. We just don't know when it's going to be, but it's very likely it will happen. So really coming into the championship standings tonight, it's Glenn leading the way on 284 points. He's 63 points clear of Davidoff, who sits in second on 221. Then we've got Matty Pitt, who's third on 212 points, and Matty Pitt's there. Then we've got Justify fourth on 210 points, now 74 points behind after a bit of an anonymous showing on Tuesday night at Baku. C. Faulkner's fifth on 143 points, has had a really good last couple of weeks here as C. Faulkner, really starting to get into the flow of it. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing a championship contender in this lad next season for sure. He's fifth on 143 points. Then we've got Rexy Boy in P6 on 120 points. Rexy Boy, as mentioned on Tuesday, going through a few things in the background in his personal life at the moment, which are very, very obviously, well, some pretty serious things, but we're obviously respecting him for coming out on track and being here despite all of these things that are going on in the background with him. Obviously great to see him out on track in the Ferrari. Also got Freddie in 7th in the standings, 118 points. I believe he just jumped into the session, so he is actually in qualifying now, which is great to see. We've got rain as well, a little bit of rain falling, which is going to be a ball ache for, well, Freddie for one, but also for a few of these drivers as well. Because yeah, I mean, if you haven't got a lap in now, then you might struggle to put in a good lap before the end of this session here. This could also mean that this qualifying session is technically going to end early, effectively, because we're not going to see any improvements. But yeah, Freddie 7th on 118 points, followed by T, who is in 8th place in the standings on 84 points. Street Boy sits in 9th place on 54 points. Street Boy's not here tonight, unfortunately. Rexy Boy's teammate there, unable to make it by the looks of it. Mark is 10th on 46 points. Followed by Mr. Johan is 11th on 42 points. Mr. Johan also doesn't appear to be here tonight, which is a shame. Drauga is 12th on 39 points. Haven't seen Drauga actually for a while, thinking about it. Or Ruck. I don't know what's happened to those two. So Ruck 12th on, so Drauga 12th on 39 points. G.C. is 13th on 30 points. Followed by Ruck, who's 14th on 28 points. Then we got Ben Hardy in 15th on 18 points. Ben also not here tonight. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks either. Oliver is 16th on 13 points. And then we've got Truckee in 17th on 11 points. Then we've got White Shadow Hole in 18th on 4 points. Wild Pluto 19th. Still yet to score a point this season and not here tonight as well. And Ice Wolf has scored a point, racing as a reserve, I believe, this season. And sits 20th in the standings, so that's why I'd assume he's 20th, because obviously he scored more points than the driver in 19th. But that is the championship standings coming in tonight, and currently it's Glenn leading the way in this qualifying session, but I think it's likely... Oh, that was a bottle of beer there on the floor, which I accidentally kicked. But yeah, I'm not drinking, by the way, tonight. That's just it's from a previous occasion. But nonetheless, Glenn is over a second clear of everybody else here in this qualifying session, so that is quite a sizable margin here over everybody else, and obviously with the fact that the rain's coming down as well, I don't think we're going to get any improvements over the course of this session. Davidoff's bringing it into the pits at the end of this run, so it would appear like we're not going to be expecting any faster lap times to come in just at the moment, although saying that, if the rain stops, then track could dry out before the end of the session here. But this could be not the most entertaining of qualifying sessions here, everybody, because unfortunately the rain does appear to be putting a spanner in the works here.
The formation lap gets underway then, and it's going to be interesting today to see how the dry conditions could affect the lifespan of the tyres. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
Yeah, I think it's about to go racing here for the Purple Sector F1 League here at the Singapore Grand Prix. Round 18 of 24 here. What's going to happen as we're now forming up on the grid? Obviously, we had a bit of a cut short qualifying session as the weather was severely deteriorating over the course of the session to the point where it was impossible for anybody to improve their laps. But hopefully, nonetheless, we can have a non-rain hit race, or if we do, hopefully that it's going to be an exciting one. Here we go. Right, it's going on ahead. We're about to go racing here for the Singapore Grand Prix here at Purple Sector. And it looks as though we've had a couple of jump starts here. So Justify definitely jumped the start. Did Glenn? Yes, he did. My goodness me, the championship leader's completely fluffed his lines there as we come into turn one. Matty Pitts moved ahead of Davidoff. Ice Wolf has moved ahead of Oliver as well. And we see a bit of carbon fibre there coming off one of the cars up ahead as C. Fortin has moved through ahead of Justify around the outside. Is it Justify's front wing that came off? I think it might have been because Matty Pitts ducked underneath him there far too easily. And Davidoff now waiting in the wings as well here. As Justify had a bit of a moment there. Ice Wolf is attacking now on the back of these guys as well as Justify coming back up the inside of Matty Pitt into that left-hander. And it looks like he hasn't got damage on the car. So it wasn't Justify who got that damage on the car. But nonetheless, team moving ahead of Rexy Boy up into 9th place on this opening lap of the race. Freddie's picked up a couple of places here up to 12th places, go ahead of the mark, and White Shadow Hold is quite starting at the back of the pack. But Klein has got the lead by 3.5 seconds due to that jump start, although obviously he will drop down the order once he comes in and does his drive-through penalty. It's Davidoff. It was Davidoff who got the damage on the front right of the front wing. He's missing that front right end plate. That car's going to be absolutely struggling for pace here at the moment as the Williams is going to limp round to the pits and get that fixed as soon as possible here. Davidoff in the wars already as Rexy Boy looking to try and come back at T after being passed by him in the first sector of the first lap. But Klein has got the lead by 4 seconds over C. Fortner. He's trying to pull out as much of a gap out the front as he can while he can, because obviously he's going to need to come into the pits at some point, but he's going to stay out as long as he can. Obviously you have to come in within the first 3 laps if you get a drive-through penalty. But Matty Pitt running in 2nd place. There's Ice Wolf ahead of Oliver Truckee. We see C. Faulkner, Justify and Davidoff all in the pits here at the end of the first lap. Why is C. Faulkner in? Has he got damage maybe? He's coming into the pits now. Let's see if anything goes on the car. Is there a new front wing? There is. So yeah, new nose cone on there for C. Faulkner. Justify. Davidoff also coming in for that front right end plate, obviously that was missing. But Glenn's got a 5-second gap at the moment. Matty Pitt has got Ice Wolf attacking all over him as they're coming down to the end of this little straight. Oliver in the background there, driving a good race. Truckee T, Rexy Boy with G.C. Freddie at the mark. White Shadow Hull at the back of the lead pack. And the 3 guys who've pitted, Justify, C. Faulkner and Davidoff. Justify's got out of the pits nicely compared to the other 2. And Glenn is currently out the front here at the moment and lap 2 of the race. But obviously does need to do that drive-through penalty at some point in these opening few laps of the race. Drama at the start of the race there for obviously Glenn and Justify getting the drive-through penalties. Justify managing to come out way ahead of the other guys who came in through the pits, C. Faulkner and Davidoff, due to the fact that it was only a drive-through and not a pit stop for a front wing like the other 2 had. But Glenn will need to come in and repeat what Justify's just done in a few moments' time. And I'm sure he'll probably stay out another lap here to try and maximise his time in clean air. I know he's coming in. Wow. I'm surprised about that because he could have stayed out another lap here and really made the most of the clean air that he's got. Matty Pitt's coming out of the final corner here to take the lead of the race. And Ice Wolf will assume 2nd place. There's Oliver currently running in a podium place at the moment. He'll be rubbing his hands together at the moment, but he needs to keep it together and stay cool under this sort of pressure. As Clent now at the end of the pit lane. Is he going to come out? He's going to come out ahead of Justify. So obviously those laps in clean air have helped. Saying that, Justify's been in clean air, but just hasn't been able to do as much with it here. So Clent out in P11 at the moment, having done that drive-through penalty. In the meantime, Matty Pitt's gap to Ice Wolf just over a second at the moment. So Ice Wolf's keeping him very much in sight at this point. T's moved ahead of Truckee up into 4th place. Now T can try and chase after Oliver for that final podium place, but Ice Wolf and Oliver currently battling it out here for 2nd place. Oliver can see the race leader less than 2 seconds ahead of him at the moment, so it'll be a big moment here for him tonight. I'm sure he's going to be feeling the pressure at this stage. Long way to go here in this Singapore Grand Prix tonight at the Marina Bay Street Circuit here for the Purple Sector F1 League. But Oliver here is throwing the kitchen sink at the moment at Ice Wolf. He'll get the DRS down here to get him a little bit closer, and then he'll get the DRS again down the start-finish straight, and one more time around Raffles Boulevard. So currently Oliver's just keeping Ice Wolf guessing at the moment, looking in his rearview mirrors. He can't relax at the moment. He's just got to be watching out for that Haas driver who's looming large there behind him. There's T, Truckee, Rexy Boy, followed by Freddie, G.C. and Mark and White Shadow Hole. They're completing the points positions at the moment here in this race. And Davidoff has come out in 14th place after his front wing end plate was fixed, which is it's going to be a long way back for him. We were already saying his championship might well be done on Tuesday night. He was thrown a very brief lifeline when Glenn jumped the start tonight, but since then it's not gone the way you would have wanted it to, for sure. As Justified as the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 31.1 from our McLaren driver. But a long way off here at the moment, and I'll tell you what, the bottom 4 drivers here, all drivers who you'd expect to be battling at the front as well, ironically, they all need a safety car basically. If we don't have a safety car in this race, then these guys are not going to have much of a chance here, I wouldn't have thought, to get back into this race. As we're watching Matty Pitt here coming through this middle part of the lap. At the moment it's gapped just under 2 seconds over Ice Wolf as they go over the bridge. So there are your leaders coming through your shot. Matty Pitt's extending the gap a little bit to Ice Wolf and Oliver over the last lap or so. So he's still got his hands full with Truckee and Rexy Boy, keeping him honest. Rexy Boy looking very close here on the back of Truckee. Is he going to fancy a move here into this braking zone here, coming towards the final sector? Thinks better of it for the time being. Obviously, Truckee's got DRS on the back of T, which is helping him, keeping him in good stead. As we've got Jack in the comments, voicing his support for G.C. currently running 8th place at the moment in a train of cars as well. He's on the back of Freddie, and Mark is also keeping him honest as well. Mark looking to the inside into turn 1. He's nowhere near close enough to make that move on G.C. at the moment, as Glenn does the fastest lap of the race there at 1 minute 30.9. You'd expect that, seeing as Glenn has put some fresh tyres on and is in clean air as well. But yeah, currently Mark just dropping off of Freddie and G.C. a little bit through this first sector. Here comes G.C. though, and Jack, you might be excited here because he's looking down the inside as Freddie goes late on the brakes there. Oh, and G.C. tries to make the move. Freddie there gave him no space there on the inside. Mark there comes through, and Freddie's letting him through. So Freddie, obviously taking responsibility for that one, knows that he might have just cut him off a little bit there. And G.C. moves up into P8, or they're saying that. He's got it wrong there. He got all out of shape there, and Freddie's going to swoop back through up into 8th place. So in the end, it's as you were between those two. Incredible racing. As Jack says, can we get a map up on the screen? Of course you can, of course. Let's get all the other stuff up as well. There we go. Sorry about that. I always leave it off on the first lap because I always want to focus on the action on the first lap, but then sometimes I do forget after the first lap. I always intend to. If I haven't got the graphics up at the end of the first lap, then just remind me, just like you have done there, because I always intend to do it after the first lap. But anyway, Matty Pitt, oh my goodness me, we were just flicking to Ice Wolf there as he stacks it coming to the final corner, and that's a safety car that's come out here. Ice Wolf, we just literally flicked to him at that exact moment. My goodness me. As Rexy Boy, right place, right time, is coming into the pits. So is Freddie, so is G.C. These guys could benefit massively here. I think they put the hard tyres on. Rexy Boy put the hard tyres on. Freddie and G.C. also in, White Shadow and Mark. These guys are going to put the hards on. Freddie's gone for the hards as well. G.C.'s gone for the hards. So these guys putting the hard tyres on. The tyre wear actually around this track, weirdly enough, is actually not that bad at all. Yeah, I'd look at this track and I'd think about it, and obviously the heat and the way that the track is, you'd think it'd be high on tyre leg, but actually, because most of the corners are medium speed to low speed, the tyre deg is actually very low around this circuit. It's quite counterintuitive, but it is actually very low. There's no high-speed corners around this track apart from the final corner. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. But yeah, the tyre deck's very low around Singapore. But anyway, the hard tyres probably could go 25 racing laps. Or it'll be 24 actually by the time we get going for the under safety car. So yeah, Matty Pitt nonetheless leading the race by just under 5 seconds to Oliver. Obviously, we're under VSC at the moment, but once we catch up to the safety car, we'll be officially behind the safety car. But yeah, Matty Pitt having a good race so far, but obviously gone past the pits when the safety car came out. So has he got time to come in? I think he probably will. I think Matty, Oliver, Truckee, T and Clen will be able to come in. Clen has moved past a lot of these drivers actually since the safety car. I wonder where he's going to come out if he comes into the pits. He probably won't need to, but I don't know. He could probably go to the end on a hard, so he might stay out. Might go for track position here. Who knows? Could be an interesting play. Matty Pitt in the pits is now off and away. Oliver is just about to come into his box here. You can see the Haas team are going to be ready for him in a second. Truckee and T staying out and going for track position. That's interesting. Glenn is coming into the pits for some hard tyres. As Rexy Boy is going to come round. And potentially, is he going to gain any positions here? I don't think he is. He might come out actually ahead of Glenn. He's going to come out behind Oliver here. So Rexy Boy there's going to come out in P5. Freddie's just behind him. C4 now. They've all moved ahead of Glenn. So Clen's dropped down a little bit, down to 10th place in the end, with the pit stops coming around when they did. But he's still gained overall. So I said before, obviously, the guys who came in early, C. Faulkner has been the winner out of all the guys who had that tricky opening lap. Davidoff's also not done too badly out of it as well. He's got quite lucky here. But yeah, they're kind of all back in it now, to be fair. So, you know, those woes of the opening lap with the jump starts and with the damages that the drivers managed to get, they obviously managed to get away with that quite nicely here with this early safety car. Interesting to note, Truckee and T have both gone for track position here, so either these two are coming to the pits. Some fresh tyres, so they're going to need to pit again at some point during the race. They can't go to the end from here, that's a given. That's a definite. Here we are then, guys. We're about to go racing here once again for the Singapore Grand Prix here at the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. And it can be tricky to get us underway. T will be right behind him. These two still yet to pit in this race. They can't go to the end. They've only used the medium tyres so far. Everybody else in the pack has used 2 different tyre compounds, so they can all go to the end if they wish, but it's going to be a long way to go here in this race. 23 laps to go here for this one, so that would be a very, very tricky task, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. I'm sure plenty of drivers will be looking to try and do it. The likes of C. Faulkner and Davidoff are on the same tyres that they put on the first lap, so that'll be 30 laps if they can dare to do that. But anyway, into turn 1 we come, and we're back underway as we see there Davidoff making a move on Gino Silo into turn 1. Goes a little bit wide on the exit of the corner. Would have got a track limits warning for that one for sure, but gets away with it in terms of the position. Saying that though, Gino Silo's coming under pressure now from Glenn as well. So Glenn looking to try and knock Gino Silo while he's down here. But for the time being, Gino Silo able to hold on to that one. He's in the foreground here. Davidoff as Gino Silo there losing out to Glenn. Glenn has got around the outside there up into 9th place. Freddie's also moved ahead of Rexy Boy up into 5th place. So Freddie they're gaining position in the opening stage of this restart. Truckee out the front. You've got Matty Pitt who's moved up into 2nd place here, getting ahead of T, who's now coming under pressure here from Oliver as well. So Oliver looking to try and put the pressure here on the back of T at this point. Oliver in the net 2nd place here in this race as well, so he'll be wanting to clear T as soon as possible and get off after Matty Pitt, who's the net race leader on the back of Truckee, who's still yet to pit here in this race. So Oliver here will be wanting to force the issue here on the back of T as quickly as possible here. Got fresher tyres, albeit T on the mediums, but then again those mediums are going to be filling the place at this point, so I wouldn't have thought that T will have much to really defend with from Oliver here. Oliver's getting a bit closer here under the braking as they come into the final sector at the moment, so he'll have the DRS down towards turn 5 on the next lap here. Oh, if he even needs it, because T's made a mistake there coming out of the final corner. Got really, really sideways there. Oliver around the outside, he's going to have that move done. T goes late on the brakes, and Oliver there says thank you very much, gets the switch back there into turn 3. Oh no, there's contact there as T turns in on him, and Oliver's going to be cursing about that one. He's now going to be passed by Freddie there. Freddie up into 4th place, and Oliver's going to be really, really frustrated there with that one. And T managing to hold on to 3rd place in all of that. Oliver now on the back of the Williams of Freddie, as Freddie's got the DRS here on T as well. Freddie's just quietly creeping into this race limit here in this one. Davidoff's moved ahead of the mark up into P11, and Justify's got ahead of White Shadow up into 9th place around the outside there as well. White Shadow there has got a penalty of some sort, I would assume track limits, although I can't be sure. As Truckee still leads the race, Matty Pitt though hunting him down, and will be looking to make this move for the lead as quickly as possibly can here, because he's got some potential rivals not far behind him. Freddie and Oliver will be chasing after him. He's got Rexy Boy, Glenn as well, all on the same tyres, all on the same strategy at this point, similar tyre age. But yeah, Matty Pitt here looking to attack on the back of Truckee now. He's got the run. He's surely going to make the move here into this chicane. Saying that Truckee keeping it around the outside there with a very late braking manoeuvre. Matty Pitt's going to look to try and make this move probably down the start-finish straight, I would have thought. And so here we come out of the final corner now, and Matty Pitt looking down the outside here into turn 1. And is that going to be job done? I think it is. Yes, it is indeed. There, Matty Pitt up into P1 here in this race, as Justifies moved ahead of G.C. up into 8th place as well. C. Faulkner in the pits here at the end of lap 10. But Matty Pitt now in control of this race, has got the ascendancy. He's got P1 now. Can he just start to try and assert his authority on the rest of them here and try to pull away, as T there's got ahead of Freddie, or stayed ahead of Freddie should I say. Thought Freddie might have made that move for a second there. Oliver's still waiting, knowing he's behind these guys. He's also got a penalty as well now, so he becomes the 2nd driver in this race to get a penalty as Oliver, which is going to be a bit of a ball ache there for him, I would have thought. But Freddie here still putting the pressure on the back of T at this stage in the race. Still relatively early stages here in this Singapore Grand Prix for the Purple Sector finally. Oh, Oliver's made a mistake. What's happened to Oliver? He's in the wall. Oh no, has he got damage on the car? He must have damage, I would have thought. Yeah, he has. He's missing his front left end plate. So Oliver there has unfortunately dropped it. It's a very tricky part of the track, that is. You have to skim that curve on the right, and then you have to sort of thread the needle onto the bridge. And yeah, doing that 31 times, it's not completely out of the realms of possibility that you might stack it once. As Davidoff there's got a 3-second penalty for track limits by the looks of it, which is going to be a bit of a pain there for him. But Matty Pitt's already got a 2-second gap over Truckee since making that move at the beginning of the previous lap, so he's got at least 2 seconds in the bag over him per lap. We got T, who's still got Freddie and Rexy Boy hunting him down, and Clen Justified, G.C. not far off of this train either, with Davidoff and White Shadow Hull, and Oliver's retired from the session, so I don't know if he's if he's thrown in a towel or if he's just crashed into the wall. As Freddie there's moved ahead of T into turn 3. Oh, is T there getting sideways? And Freddie's backed out of it there to let him back through, I think. I don't quite know what's going on here. Oh, this is chaos. Come on, guys. What's going on there? As Freddie there dropping down to 9th place. T back up into 7th. Now getting head back into Gilacino, who loses it under acceleration there. So Gilacino there losing out to Davidoff as well. But absolute carnage there in that one. Freddie down to 10th place. He had that incident there with T coming out of turn 3. Obviously he felt he was at fault because he backed out and let him back through. T now running into 6th place, but in all of that, it's now Rexy Boy up into the podium places here, with Clen on the back of him, and Justify now in P5, now on the verge of a podium. So how things have changed here with Clen and Justify now well back in this fight for the podiums. Could be the fight for the win, because Matty Pitt's only 7 seconds up the road. We know how quick these guys are. So yeah, who knows at this point here in this race. A long way to go, as Justify looking to the inside of Clen coming into the penultimate corner. That's never going to happen coming through there, as Truckee into the pits here at the end of lap 12. Matty Pitt has the lead, but Rexy Boy, Clen, Justify chasing them down. We know Clen and Justify, both of these two high flyers in the championship so far this season, so they're going to be really hoping to clear the Ferrari as soon as they possibly can here. There's Davidoff in the background, not far away. T, G.C. Freddie, as well as White Shadow Hull and Mark completing the top 10 at this moment in time. Truckee is on his way out of the pits there. 11th place. T Faulkner well off everybody else now, running in 12, having come in for that pit stop and having that damage. He needs another safety car here in this one. He's already had one go his way. He needs another one, really, but who knows whether that's going to happen. But nonetheless, see, Clen's got ahead of Rexy Boy now up into the 2nd place, and now Justify will be looking to try and make this move on Rexy Boy as well, I would have thought. He almost just tapped him in the rear there as he came out through this next DRS zone. Justify though got DRS on Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy now out of the DRS to Clen, so that will improve Justify's chances of being able to make this move stick here on Rexy Boy. But Rexy Boy doing a solid race so far here, running in the podium places. Has been able to make the most of a lot of carnage going on in front of him so far here in this race, but he's going to have his work cut out here to keep this man Justify, and also Davidoff as well, because he's got some serious pace in general around this F1 game. As here goes Justify here, now looking to the outside of Rexy Boy into turn 1, swoops around the outside with a lovely manoeuvre there. Rexy Boy, to be fair to him, stayed well out of the way. They didn't think about sending one down the inside there, knew that Justify had that momentum around the outside, and gave that one up when he needed to there. Davidoff now will be looking to try and knock Rexy Boy while he's down, but Rexy Boy's got DRS on Justify, which will help him to keep up with the McLaren and probably defend here from the Williams. As Davidoff looks to the outside. Oh, I tell you what, he's got a lovely positioning there as Davidoff. Really nicely done under the brakes there. Got that all done on the brakes. He has the inside for the next turn, and Davidoff there is going to make it move. Although, has he made it stick? He hasn't, because Rexy Boy is still there. Davidoff, though, will finally get that better run there coming out of that left-hander, and finally gets 4th place there. Can now try and chase down Justify, but he's lost time by having that battle there with Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy put up a great fight there, but now Davidoff is 2 seconds behind Justify. He's about 4 seconds behind Clen at the moment, and he's about 12 seconds off of the race leader Matty Pitt, so 12 seconds covering the top 4, and this is the familiar top 4 really. These are the 4 guys who are in the championship battle. The other guy, who is a generally contender for the race wins, is down in P12. C Faulkner having an absolute mare here tonight, it has to be said. There's no other word for it. He's well detached here in this race, as we've got a comment coming in from V10 Ultra. They're saying, come on Davidoff. Davidoff currently P4 at the moment. V10, he's got a penalty though. He's got a 3-second penalty for track limits. So that will obviously hurt him by the time we get to the end of this race. He needs to make sure he keeps it clean from now until the end if he wants to have any chance of getting on the podium. As obviously these three guys are now starting to chip away at Matty Pitt, but Matty Pitt's got track position. He's got that gap, and this could be a golden opportunity for Matty Pitt to take a win here. We've seen a couple of times this season he's been able to sneak a win. Most of the time it's when these guys kind of run into these three. They are the kings of the pace around this in this purple sector F1 league, but when they do trip over each other, then Matty Pitt's usually there to pick up the pieces. He's done it a few times this season. He's currently out in front, one of the quickest drivers in the league. Last season's champion as well, purple sector, and a league owner alongside T as well. So he's currently got a 7.5 second lead. Can he convert what is currently a very strong position here in this race? His gap is extending to Davidoff at the moment. His gap to Glenn is coming down. Glenn is chipping away at this point. Also got to keep an eye here because Freddie's now putting the pressure here on the back of G.C. in this fight for P6. Rexy Boy currently leading this train of cars here as it's going all the way down from Rexy Boy, G.C. Freddie and Mark running in 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th places here. See Mark there. Oh, Freddie's gone out into the wall. Wow, that's an uncharacteristic mistake there from Freddie. He's got it all wrong there, coming through sector 1, coming out of turn 3. That would have been. Oh my goodness me, he's got no front left end plate. So Freddie there has had a bit of a horror story. He's down in 9th place here in this one. So he's got a lot of work to do here in this one if he wants to come back from that one. My goodness me. As he's going to be into the pits, I would have thought at the end of this lap. I would have thought maybe a set of mediums. Could probably go to the end of the race with one of the mediums, or if he wants to play it safely, go for the hards, because he's already used the mediums. Oh, Justify really sideways there, coming out onto the bridge. Glenn, though, I tell you what, is absolutely gaining hand over fist here on Matty Pitt. The gap now 6 seconds. It was about 7 seconds a lap ago, so it's about a second a lap he's gaining. That's a pretty serious amount of gain there from Glenn. He's looking on it here so far in this one. So Freddie's into the pits there to get that front left end plate. Obviously, well, he'll be racing the whole nose cone, the front wing, everything, but nonetheless, see Rexy Boys managed to gap G.C. on Mark a little bit. These two, G.C. and Mark, are still battling over 6th and 7th places, and Mark will be looking to try and force the issue here on the RB Cash App driver as much as he can here. But yeah, actually, through this middle sector here, it looks like Rexy Boys lost a bit of time here. And now G.C. and Mark are way back on him here, so he's just lost a bit of momentum here through that part of the track. Davidoff's now closing the gap to Matty. He's also closing on Justify. Obviously, Davidoff has got that penalty, but at this point in the race, he's clearly got more pace here than what Justify has. And Glenn is closing still on Matty Pitt. The gap just chipping away. It's not come down as much as it did on the previous lap, but he's certainly still gaining. Probably about half a second that last time around here for Glenn. But yeah, on average here, he's certainly going to be. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him on the back of Matty Pitt within the next 10 laps. So I'm sure it's going to be a bit of a grandstand finish here between these two. Matty Pitt putting in consistent lap times, which he needs to do. Just needs to not make a mistake here, and he might have a chance of holding on. B10 says Clen for the win, he reckons. Yeah, could be. Could be. I mean, he's got the momentum at the moment. But then is he going to use up too much of his tyres trying to close that gap? Matty Pitt could probably save his tyres quite a bit at the moment. He's not going to be taking too much life out of them at this point. So it's he's not in a bad position being out the front, that's for sure. G.C. here on the back of Mark as they're battling over P6 at this moment in time. And these two have been running pretty close for the last few laps. It's been pretty nip and tuck here between these two drivers, quite evenly matched, but they have swapped places a couple of times over these last few laps. G.C. big fan of the streams here at Motive on the channel. Purple Sector's regular drivers here this season and regular commenters, one of the most interactive members of the YouTube community here at Purple Sector. And he's just seems to have dropped out of DRS a little bit here. Mark has extended the gap coming to the final sector, so it seems like Mark's just got it together a little bit here. Oh no, G.C. has got into the wall. Oh my goodness. Oh, so sorry. Oh no, he was watching the stream, wasn't he? He's got it on in the background. Oh, God's sake, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm an arsehole. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. G.C. there, has he got it going again? I think he has, yeah. So, he's got no front wing, I don't think. I'm sure he's got no front, yeah. He was right by the pits, why didn't he just come into the pits? Oh, well, he's carried on. I think he put the AI in. Do you know what? He must have selected the AI as soon as that happened. Oh, God. Well, safety car's out. Regardless here. Oh no. Here we are then, guys, back underway here for the Singapore Grand Prix here at Purple Sector. 10 laps left to go. Matty Pitt picked up a 3-second penalty just before the safety car came out. So that means now that Glenn is now within striking distance. Now he can obviously stay where he is and get the position. Justify will also get ahead of Matty Pitt, although saying that he's lost time behind White Shadow just now as they went on the restart, because White Shadow Hole was slow reacting to Matty Pitt getting going again. So Justify there with Davidoff behind him running in 4th place. So these guys have lost time to Matty Pitt and Glenn on this restart, but Glenn currently keeping Matty Pitt very much on his toes at the moment. You can see Justify there in the background here, Davidoff with White Shadow Hole now falling back into the clutches of the rest of the pack here. He's got Mark and Rexy Boy with Truckee as well. Rexy Boy hasn't got a penalty, all the guys in front of him have, so he could be in a prime position here to gain some places here at the end of the race as well. But Matty Pitt out the front has got just under a second here over Glenn at the moment, and he's trying to pull out this gap here to Glenn. Obviously, they're both on fresh tyres now. Has Matty Pitt got what it takes underneath him here to pull out this gap and finish 3 seconds ahead? We know how quick Glenn is in race trim, but Matty's really pushing it at the moment. You can see he's going all out for this one. Might feel a bit hard done by, a bit like he's been robbed of a race win here with this safety car and that penalty that he got just before the safety car came out. But currently he's pulling away here from Glenn on this restart. So a really good opening lap to the restart here from Matty Pitt. Fastest lap of the race as well from him, at 1 minute 30.2. He's absolutely flying at the moment. As we see, we got Mark Rexy Boy just behind. V10 says Glenn has front wing damage. He has no end plate. Are you kidding me? I didn't even notice. Really? Oh yeah, his front right end plate's gone. Oh my goodness! Wow, that explains why he hasn't got too much pace here. Justify and Davidoff are within 3 seconds of Matty Pitt now. But if they're battling, and Davidoff looks like he is battling here with Justify, Davidoff obviously can't finish ahead of Matty Pitt with the penalties, but if he fights with Justify, that could stop Justify from being within 3 seconds of Matty Pitt here. So Matty Pitt could potentially win this race despite that 3-second penalty, but Glenn is keeping him honest despite that front left end plate damage. So at the moment, Glenn is doing a phenomenal job here in this race. Matty, though, with that lead at the moment by just over a second at this stage in the race. But we are coming to the closing stages here of this Singapore Grand Prix here at Purple Sector. Looking at this battle here in the mid-pack, it's still Mark, Rexy Boy and Truckee going at it here. Truckee has got soft tyres on. Are these soft tyres going to make it to the end? He's going to probably have to do, what, 9 racing laps on them? No, 10 racing laps, because we started on lap 22. So that will be a big ask here for Truckee, that's for sure. It's not out of the question though, because tyre wear isn't too bad around this track. But Matty Pitt coming over the line was a little bit faster than Glenn, about a 10th quicker. On the previous lap, it's Davidoff there quickest of anybody there over the line. Currently running in 3rd place. Justify's keeping up with him though, I'll tell you that. Oh my goodness, Justify almost went into the back of him there, going through turn 3, but managed to avoid him. Now looking to the outside here, Davidoff might have to defend here. As Justify looks to make this go around the long way here. Who will have the DRS? I think Justify is going to have the DRS. He is. That should take him past here as they come through this next sequence, and he is going to breeze past him relatively easy there. Davidoff's going to have to now tuck in and wait for another opportunity here to make that move for 3rd place. All the while, this is giving Matty Pitt impetus to pull away, with obviously Justify not having the penalty, but with battling with Davidoff, he might lose time and potentially stay out of that 3-second gap here to Matty. They got a second and a half between Matty Pitt and Glenn. Glenn is trying valiantly to keep within that catchment. He's still well within the 3 seconds, but he's losing a couple of tenths a lap to Matty Pitt. It's going to be very tight by the end of the race as to if he's going to be within that 3 seconds or not. But the thing is, once he starts coming under pressure here from the likes of Justify and Davidoff, that will potentially cause him to make mistakes with that damage as well. He'd be more prone to making mistakes, so he could be on a bit of a knife's edge at the end of this race, but he's hanging in there for the time being. As Matty Pitt coming out of the final corner here, about to start lap 25. So we've got 7 laps left to go here in this Singapore Grand Prix, as Glenn is now really coming under pressure here from Justify and Davidoff. He's now only got a second to these two. They're going to be throwing everything at him in these next few laps of the race, because they know he's got a bit of damage there. Well, they might know he's got a bit of damage, I'm not sure. I'm sure these guys do chat in the parties, and I know that one or two of them do listen to the stream while they're racing, so they might have picked that up. But nonetheless, Glenn is still out the front here with this out the front of this train of cars, these three. But Justify and Davidoff are really hunting him down here at this point. Justify will have DRS through the next zone, and that might give him a chance here. DRS down here or coming up shortly. Once they go over the bridge, straight after that, that'll be where Justify will get another crack at it. Oh, it's close to putting it into the right-hand wall there. But here we go then. Now Justify will get some DRS. Get that a little bit closer. Not quite close enough, but certainly giving him just a little bit of a taster. All the while Davidoff here watching this unfold. Now he's got that penalty, so he's in going to be a bit of a rush at this point, I would have thought. As T has crashed out. Oh, we got another safety car. No way. And his teammate had just gone past the pit lane. Thankfully, though, for him, nobody else is coming into the pits, so nobody's going to be tempted to roll the dice here. Is anybody else in the mid-pack going to come in? Rexy Boy's coming in. Mark stays out. Trucky's coming in as well, so obviously he'd have been close on those soft tyres by the end. G.C. staying out. Rexy Boy with Trucky. Freddy coming in as well. White Shadow Hole, is he going to come in? Yeah, he is coming in, so there's a lot of drivers now in the pits for some fresh soft tyres for the final couple of laps here of this race. Rexy Boy, Trucky, Freddy and White Shadow have all come in and boxed for fresh softs. So the guys ahead of them are going to be quite vulnerable, I would have thought. Rexy Boy could be a real contender here to come back through on those soft tyres in these final couple of laps. If he can make these moves here, he could be in a very strong position indeed. Depends when we start, when we get going. I reckon it'll be at the end of lap 28. Well, actually, it might be the end of lap 27 because the safety car picked him up very quickly. Because obviously the safety car was called as Matty Pitt was going around the last corner, so the safety car met them at turn 1, which is interesting because we might actually be able to go at the end of lap 27, which would be mean 4 laps to the flag. That'll be more time for the soft runners to pick off the medium runners and potentially chase after the leaders here. This is also the last thing that Matty Pitt wanted, because with that penalty, it's going to really shoot him in the foot. He's not going to be happy with his teammate one bit over that one, that's for sure. Obviously, his fellow founder and owner of Pebble Sector T, they're stacking it into the wall, has caused him to be looking very precarious with this race lead. So Matty Pitt will not be thanking him for that in the Mercedes debrief. So interestingly, during that safety car, Matty Pitt came into the pits for a set of fresh soft tyres. He's come out in 9th place in the train of cars as we're getting underway once again here. So that's huge there for Matty Pitt. I mean, he's gone for a roll of the dice here. Knew that on the medium tyres with the soft runners behind him, he wasn't going to have much of a chance. So with that 3-second penalty, has thought, why not just give it a go? See what we can do here as Glenn leads us into turn 1. There's Justify. These medium runners are going to be sitting ducks for the soft runners behind them. This is going to be, I mean, you've got the fastest drivers at the front on the slow tyres. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. But nonetheless, Glenn leading us coming through Raffles Boulevard here on lap 28 of 31 here. 4 laps left to go here in this Singapore Grand Prix at the Purple Sector F1 League. We've had, I think, 4 safety cars here tonight. It's been a dramatic night of racing. But it all comes down to this here. The final few laps of this race. It's a sprint finish here for this one. And the top 3 have broken away from Mark and G.C. who are currently being the thorn in the sides for these soft tyre runners behind them. Rexy Boy, Trucky, Freddie, Matty Pitt and White Shadow. So looking like Mark and G.C. have kind of inadvertently played an absolute blinder here for these 3. Glenn, Justify and Davidoff. As Davidoff's got that 3-second penalty as well, which might hurt him here. Or they could get on the podium if these 3 can pull out a bit of a gap here over these next couple of laps before the DRS is enabled, because it's not an easy track to overtake it without DRS. As Matty Pitt's moved ahead of Freddie up into 8th place. Oh, as Matty Pitt's got another penalty for track limits, and that is going to really hurt his chances of, well, I don't think he's going to get a top 5 now. He'll get a point because there's only 10 people left in the race, but that's really not gone the way that Matty Pitt would have wanted it to here. As I think Davidoff got another penalty there, did he? I'm pretty sure I just saw Davidoff's name flash up. He did, yeah. So Matty Pitt, sorry, Davidoff even, as well as Matty Pitt, has got a 6-second penalty here. Those 2 have got 6 seconds worth so far in this one. So that's been a disaster for both of those 2. Glenn is out the front here with a slender gap to Justify. These 2 have got no penalties, so they'll obviously be loving that, I'm sure. As Rexy Boy's moved ahead of G.C. up into 5th place there. That is job done there for him. But these soft runners now are going to be going all out to try and chase after the front runners here. Rexy Boy with no penalties could end up on the podium here. Glenn's now got a penalty as well. My goodness. If Justify gets himself a penalty, Rexy Boy will just need to catch up to the leaders and he'll get the race win tonight. Come on, Mark, wave him through, mate. It's not your race. Come on, let him pass. Well, this is now Rexy Boy's chance here in this race. It's saying that, though, the laps are winding down here. Might be a bit beyond him. Glenn is out the front with a slender lead over Justify. Justify will be tasting a win here. This is a win that's going to be handed to Justify on a plate as things stand, because he's got no penalties here in this one. Rexy Boy, though, he's got to be sensing a podium opportunity here in this one. Justify all over the back of Glenn. Doesn't need to overtake him, but I'm sure he'd love to. As we come into turn 1, a little bit too far away just there. Here comes Rexy Boy, looking to the inside. Can't make that move on Mark just at the moment. He'll be looking to make this move, though, through these next sequence of corners here. He'll get the DRS out of this right-hander, and then surely he'll make the move into the left-hander at the end of this flat-out section. It's basically a straight, albeit round a curve. A bit like the Curva Grande at Monza, but not as long. As Rexy Boy there moves up into 4th place without any real further ado. Matty Pitt there into 6th place as well. So he's picking off drivers here at the end of this race, but he's got that 3-second penalty. I was saying that. Looking at the landscape of penalties right now, he's got 6 seconds. But yeah, everyone's got a penalty by the looks of it. Anyway, Justify with the lead of this race and no penalties. He's in a good position right now. Can Rexy Boy get within 3 seconds of Davidoff? Can he get within 3 seconds of Glenn here? Rexy Boy could be on for a 2nd place finish here if he can have a stormer over the last couple of laps. What a drive it's been from him here tonight. Is that a bit of rain on the camera lens in this very, very late stage of the race? We've only got a lap and a half left to go here, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was. I wasn't tripping there, so we have got a little bit of rain. Shouldn't really play a big factor here in this race, because obviously we're coming on to the last lap now, so I wouldn't have thought it'd make much of a difference, but nonetheless, could be something to spice it up here in the closing stages. As Justify, Glenn and Davidoff here three of them separate, but nothing. Oh, Davidoff there goes for a late lunge down the inside of Glenn, and damage. There was a bit of damage there coming off for the Williams, as he would have hurt his front wing a bit there, but they managed to get through it without major dramas. Davidoff, though, missing the front right part of his end plate, so that will obviously lose him out time to Rexy Boy. Rexy Boy will be on the podium here without a doubt, but can he get within 3 seconds of Glenn and finish in second here? Justify is going to get the win, barring any major catastrophes on the final lap of the race, unless he has a big crash here with Glenn in this final lap. He will be in the win for this Singapore Grand Prix here tonight. Rexy Widow standing on the verge of a podium, definitely, potentially even a second place here if he can get within 3 seconds of Glenn. Glenn is though fighting with Justify at this point, and now the medium tyres will start to fight back against the softs, so maybe Rexy Boy's chance for a second place is gone, but certainly I think we can expect to see him on the podium at the end of this lap. But Justify holding off Glenn here on this final lap of the race. These two can battle it out on the track as much as they like, but Justify will be the one to take the win regardless, because with that penalty there for Glenn, it will allow Justify to just, I think, bring it home without any real major stress in these final few corners. As here we come then in towards the final part of the race here for the Purple Sector F1 League, round 18 of 24 here for season 12 here at Singapore. And Justify, after a very, very difficult last few weeks here this season, is going to finally stand on the top step again here. He comes over the line. Justify takes a checker flag, and he's your winner here tonight for the Singapore Grand Prix. Glenn comes over to take second place with Rexy Boy on the podium after the last week that he has had. That is absolutely brilliant to see Rexy Boy taking a third place here. Congratulations to him. What a way to end what's been a horrible week for him, and really, really great to see that for him here tonight. He gets the driver of the day as well, so and his driver, he looks just like Kanye West. Anyway, that is that then for that's that for tonight's action here at Singapore. Great stuff there from all of the drivers, and especially Rexy Boy there. But Justify, Glenn and Rexy Boy, the podium finishes here tonight, and yeah, excellent stuff there from all the drivers. Davidoff in the end losing out due to the penalty, and obviously he would have lost out anyway, but anyway, that is that, guys, for tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. To those of you who did enjoy, yeah, tune in next time. We'll be live on Tuesday night as always at Purple Sector for round 19 of the season, which will be at COTA, I believe. It will be the US Grand Prix at Texas for round 19, so yeah, check that out. We'll be live at 8 PM UK time. If you can't make Tuesday, then join us on Thursday for round 20 from Mexico City. And also, if you want to tune into Action on the Motive channel, then join us for Red Arrows. They'll be live at 8 PM UK time. And that will be Monday night. And they'll be racing at Netherlands, Zandvoort for that one. So, yep, tune in for that one. Guys, we'll see you all very, very soon. Take it easy. And good night.